Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following. IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk, the long-anticipated stretch of I-69 between Bloomington and Crane is finally open. We'll take you for a ride on the 27-mile stretch of Interstate and tell you where the highway could be headed next. And it's an issue thousands of couples are struggling with.
He was a happy accident, so I didn't imagine I would have some real issues getting pregnant again.
A recent study reveals common wisdom about getting pregnant may actually be misleading. Plus, she's taken over the internet, and today she's taking over our studio. A visit from Bloomington's most famous feline. Those stories and the latest news headlines from across the state right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Another piece of the decades-long puzzle of Interstate 69 is complete. Hoosiers can now drive the 27-mile Section 4 of I-69 between NSA Crane and Bloomington. But as Alexander McCall reports, the project took more than 3 years to finish, and there are still 2 more sections of the controversial highway left to be completed.
This is just a day. This is a great day in Indiana. The sun is shining.
The Westgate Academy Conference and Training Center was buzzing with excitement Wednesday as regional and state officials gathered to celebrate the completion of another part of a decades-long project linking Evansville to Indianapolis with Interstate 69. As Indiana Department of Transportation Commissioner Brandy Hendrickson and Governor Mike Pence spoke with joy about the new piece of road, applause filled the room.
How about let's start out on a big day with the grand opening ceremony of Section 4 of I-69. Let's give it up for INDOT, for Brandy, for everybody wearing the colors today.
It's a project that's been discussed for more than 40 years and first broke ground during Governor Mitch Daniels' administration. The opening of Section 4 of the interstate means Hoosiers can now drive more than 90 miles of interstate from Evansville to Bloomington.
One administration with strong support in the legislature. One administration found the money, another administration poured the concrete. But this is what good government looks like, men and women, and we show the way in Indiana.
Governor Pence says it's about finishing what the state started. He and other state leaders, including former Lieutenant Governor Becky Skillman, cut the ribbon Wednesday on Section 4 before leading a ceremonial caravan to christen the new stretch of highway. The Indiana Department of Transportation has been working on Section 4 for more than 3 years, starting construction in April 2012. The 27-mile stretch was originally slated to be open by the end of 2014, but inclement weather delayed construction. INDOT originally predicted the cost of Section 4 to come in at $400 million, but the project rang up at $471 million. But Pence says the opening of the road is about more than just statistics. He says it's about economic development.
I mean, if you have the right infrastructure in the right places and you take care of it and you maintain it, that it opens up jobs and opportunity and investments.
And Evansville Mayor Lloyd Winnicky echoes that sentiment.
Yes, it does get us to Bloomington faster and makes the trip to Indianapolis faster, but from an economic development perspective, it gives businesses and industry in our city a more efficient means to transport either finished product or raw material, and that's a good thing.
But for some, the interstate is less of a cause for celebration. Dozens of regional and state officials were present for Wednesday's ceremony, but Bloomington Mayor Mark Kruzan was absent, saying he thought it would be insincere to pretend to celebrate Section 4. Bloomington and Monroe County residents were at the center of the debate over the section's construction back in 2012, when some landowners expressed concerns about how increased traffic and noise from the interstate would affect their lives. Several environmental groups also voiced opposition to the interstate, citing concerns about the environmental impact of the road, groups filed and lost several lawsuits against INDOT over I-69. But the protests didn't stop Section 4 from being completed, and the state is already moving ahead on the 2 final legs of I-69. INDOT says Section 5 of the interstate from Bloomington to Martinsville is on an aggressive schedule and should be completed by the end of 2016. But the route for the final piece of the puzzle, Section 6, still hasn't been decided. Transportation officials expect to wrap up an environmental impact study in the next 2 years, but the state still has to find funding for the section that will link Martinsville to Indianapolis, and then they'll have to build it.
Really, we're working through the process to identify the best route and to develop the best project possible for I-69 Section 6. So that's part of the conversation that we're having right now. We're moving through that process quite quickly.
INDOT spokesperson Will Wingfield says they have no doubt the road will be completed. He says Governor Pence is committed to making sure the project gets finished. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Alexander McCall.
INDOT is still seeking feedback on 5 possible routes for the final section of I-69 from Martinsville to Indianapolis. You can submit comments online or in person at the Section 6 office in Martinsville. The debate over how to fund improvements to Indiana's existing roads continues to rage on at the State House. A plan unveiled by Senate Republicans on Thursday would dedicate more than $400 million to local infrastructure. The money would be distributed from local tax money that is usually put in reserve. The Indiana Democratic Party calls the plan a short-term option, but Republican Senator Brant Hirschman disagrees.
The amount of money that we're talking about in this distribution is not a Band-Aid. I think you're looking at a multi-year investment. I think most localities would be hard-pressed to spend this kind of money in a year.
Governor Mike Pence previously proposed a $1 billion infrastructure deal, but since its introduction, Pence's team worked with Hirschman on the new plan. Now, for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brozier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. Another family of Syrian refugees is now living in Indianapolis. The Archdiocese of Indianapolis resettled the family despite Governor Mike Pence's orders to stop accepting Syrian refugees. The couple and their 2 children have been planning the move for more than 2 years. During a private meeting last week, Pence asked Archbishop Joseph Tobin to divert the refugees elsewhere. Tobin released a statement after resettling the refugees this week, saying, "For 40 years, the Archdiocese Refugee and Immigrant Services has welcomed people fleeing violence in various regions of the world. This is an essential part of our identity as Catholic Christians, and we will continue this life-saving tradition." Pence says he disagrees with the Archbishop's decision, but that the state won't block public benefits for Syrian refugees.
We have no intention of changing the way the state interacts with individuals that are legally within the jurisdiction of Indiana.
The Syrian American Council invited Pence to meet with refugees in Indianapolis tonight, but the governor declined because of a schedule conflict. Republican presidential hopeful Ben Carson spoke to a standing room only crowd in Fort Wayne yesterday. During a 40-minute speech, Carson covered many topics, including foreign policy. He has previously been criticized for lacking experience in that area.
The president doesn't necessarily know everything about everything, just like the CEO doesn't. That's why this global scale.
Carson went on to talk about refugees, ISIS, and cyber warfare. A spokesperson for the Carson campaign says that the candidate plans to return to Indiana later this year. Freedom Indiana is mobilizing once again, this time to fight for non-discrimination laws. After a successful campaign against HJR 3 and a battle against RFRA, the grassroots group is campaigning to add sexual orientation and gender identity to the list of protected classes in Indiana. J.D. Gray reports.
Freedom Indiana is hosting community meetings to gather support for its fight for equal protections. At a meeting in Columbus this week, the group explained how people can get involved.
I picked up one of their forums tonight about how to write a letter and kind of the things that you might want to think about including, because I've never sat down to write a letter like that. I tend to just make a phone call.
Senate Republicans announced their own non-discrimination bill last month that would ban discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity, while providing some exceptions, including those for religious organizations. Freedom Indiana would like to see some changes made to that bill. However, their goal is to get legislation passed.
this changes the equation a lot, and I'm not sure people appreciate how much harder it is to get everyone to agree on a yes than a no. So there's a chance at it because they have experience, they know how to mobilize, but at the same time, some of that coalition that was willing to say no is not there to say yes to what they think is the answer to this question.
Lawmakers will take the issue up during the legislative session. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm JD Gray.
Freedom Indiana's community meetings continue next week in Valparaiso and Terre Haute. Ivy Tech's graduation rates are significantly lower than the nationwide average. That's according to a new report from the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. The evaluation revealed fewer than 5% of the programs at Ivy Tech graduate at least half of their students. The commission came up with 7 recommendations for improving completion rates, including discontinuing or improving programs that don't meet benchmarks. Ivy Tech will report back with an initial program review by March. A special commission tasked with coming up with ways to address Indiana's teacher shortage has narrowed down its list of recommendations. The commission came up with 8 recommendations they hope will help reverse that trend. They include a state-funded mentoring program for teachers, as well as more competitive pay. Once commission members review their final report, it will be presented to legislators. Property tax caps have kept more money in taxpayers' pockets, but they've also forced local governments to generate revenue through new fees. That's according to the Indiana Fiscal Policy Institute, which released 2 new reports this week. They found property tax caps have cost local governments more than $760 million in potential revenue since they were implemented in 2009. That means communities have tried to make up the difference with user fees on services like waste removal. The recent shootings in Paris and San Bernardino have many people wondering about their own safety. Indiana State Police held a forum this week to talk about the best way to react in an active shooter situation. While the presentation is given at school corporations across the state, this is the first time it's been open to the public. State police say this isn't intended to incite fear, but rather to prepare residents for the risk of a mass shooting.
I think that if we inform public with the information and the facts, they'll be better prepared to respond in the horrible event that might happen. If we don't talk about it and put our head in the sand, then we expect people to do something that they've never thought about and they never planned for.
If you're interested in learning more, state police have posted the full information and other web resources on their website. More jobs are coming to Bedford after General Motors announced it will invest more than $127 billion in its casting operations plant. Plant management says the money will lead to the creation of about 127 jobs. There are already about 700 people working at the plant. The investment will also help renovate an expansion of the plant to be used for production of engine parts.
The money is starting to flow in now. There's actually things going on to prep for the new work. If you go on the plant floor today, you'll see some of the changes we're making now in preparation for those things.
GM has invested more than $426 million in the plant since 2010. Duke Energy's latest proposal to upgrade its electric grid in Indiana would be paid for by its 810,000 customers in the state. The utility says the proposal would result in fewer outages and energy savings for customers. But those customers would bear the burden of paying for the project. They'd see a rate increase of about 1% each year from 2017 until 2022. Duke Energy's original plan was rejected by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission because the commission wanted more specific information about electric grid projects. Well, the Hoosiers are getting some much-needed rest before they head to New York later this month to face Duke in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. This is the first time the team has headed to a bowl game since 2007. Duke finished the season 7-5, while IU went 6-6. Head coach Kevin Wilson says they're excited to play at Yankee Stadium.
When I asked the guys on Monday, I said, hey, here are some scenarios. How many of you have been to New York City? And I think about 20 of our kids raised their hands. We're going to stay, I think, about 2 blocks off of Central Park and at a big location. We're not going on vacation, but it will be nice to get them into one of the great cities of the world and then represent, again, a great institution with a great alumni base up there. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And Joe, this is the first time that the Hoosiers will face off against the Blue Devils since 1984. Kickoff is scheduled for 3:30 December 26th, so maybe a belated Christmas holiday gift from the Hoosiers?
Yes, that would be nice. I see the pinstripe trophy was at the Wells Library this afternoon, so lots of excitement.
We're ready for the big game.
All right, thanks, Barbara. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. Is there a connection between sexual activity and a strong immune system? A recent study from the Kinsey Institute has some encouraging results for those struggling to get pregnant. Hear from the researcher behind the study coming up. Plus, she has her own store, web series, and now an album. And she can't even talk. Bloomington's own Lil Bub and her owner will join us in the studio to talk about what's next for the famous feline. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
We are a nation of explorers. We seek new ways of living, of thinking, and of expressing ourselves. We take risks. We learn from experience. And we keep moving forward. That's why we encourage and celebrate the explorer in all of us.
$10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000?
600.
20. 18.5.
24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000.
650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Some 80% of Indiana employers say they've experienced prescription drug abuse issues at their companies, yet fewer than a third offer training around workplace drug use. That's according to a recent survey from the National Safety Council. The organization found about 1 in 5 employers reported an injury or near miss due to prescription drug issues. The National Safety Council recommends employers put in place strong prescription drug abuse policies and implement opioid drug testing to address the issue. As Indiana legislators grapple with how to deal with the growing drug abuse problem, youth workers are looking at ways to reduce drug use among teens. The Indiana Youth Institute hosted a forum on that topic in Bloomfield this week. It focused on new trends like an increase in electronic cigarette use and how to best address the problems. Experts say adopting evidence-based programs are the key to curbing drug use among teens.
So those are things like restricting access or changing policies. And then once you've done that, putting the right implementation in place from people who have been trained.
An annual survey of Indiana youth found drug use rates are actually lower than the national average. Indiana University's Kinsey Institute recently completed a study that examined the relationship between sexual activity and a woman's immune system. As Barbara Brozier reports, the preliminary findings could be good news for couples struggling to conceive.
Jevney Taylor spends a lot of afternoons with her son and nephew playing outside at her Monroe County home.
Yeah, you're not going to put that in your mouth, are you?
She'd like to add a second child of her own to this picture, but recently decided to put those plans on hold.
I think I went through a day of crying just when I realized, my son might not have another sibling.
After having her son more than 3 years ago, Taylor figured she'd have no problem getting pregnant again. But the second time around has proven much more difficult.
We tried for about a year before we went to the fertility specialist. And we've tried for, a few months since then. And then once I decided to go off the Clomid, so we've just recently kind of decided to stop trying.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, Taylor is one of more than 6.5 million women struggling to conceive. She went to a fertility specialist to try and figure out why, but came away feeling discouraged.
The stress of trying so hard and it's not happening, and one of the specific days, you only ovulate specific days. I think we were on vacation and traveling this day, and it just wasn't working out. And the doctor said, when you're under a lot of stress and pressure, and my husband's under stress and pressure, it's just so much more difficult to conceive.
A recently released study by the Kinsey Institute has some encouraging results for women like Taylor who are trying to get pregnant. The study tracked changes in the immune systems of women who are both sexually active and sexually abstinent. The researchers took blood and saliva samples from the participants and then infected them with bacteria to see how well the immune system fought off the bugs. And researchers observed greater changes in women who were sexually active.
The kind of common wisdom that's given to couples who are trying to conceive is make sure that you have sex during the fertile window. And as anyone who's tried to conceive knows, that can be an incredibly tricky window to find. And so our findings suggest that the sex that a couple has, even outside of that fertile window, may still improve their chances of conceiving because it's a cue to the immune system to start engaging in the kinds of responses that ultimately will protect their conception and their fetus.
The study looked at 32 healthy women, a small sample size. The medical community would like to see the research done on a larger scale to see if the findings can be generalized to other women. But the preliminary findings will likely spark medical research in a whole host of areas.
There's been a lot of research recently suggesting that the immune system plays a really important role in heart disease, in chronic pain, and even in mental health conditions like depression. And so potentially this research could lead to additional inroads into managing those kind of chronic health conditions. Essentially, sex may become yet another health behavior that doctors kind of monitor and make recommendations about, just like sleep or diet or physical activity.
Fall time! Woo! That's both encouraging and discouraging for Taylor, who spends most of her time taking care of her son. She and her husband are rarely alone anymore, but she's still hopeful. Their family of 3 will someday expand to a family of 4.
My hopes is that might be another happy accident, waiting in my near future, but if not, we'll be okay.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brozier.
Researchers say the studies may also shed light on previous research that found unexplained fluctuations in immune response in women, a recognition that sexual activity can cause natural fluctuations in blood test results could be useful to physicians treating patients with immune disorders. Today marks an important day in Indiana's history. This is the 199th anniversary of President James Madison signing a proclamation officially making Indiana the 19th state in the Union. State leaders gathered in Indianapolis earlier today to celebrate and kick off the 2016 year of service in preparation for next year's bicentennial celebration. The state will spend more than $50 million on bicentennial-related activities over the next year. And, well, she has thousands of followers on YouTube, millions of likes on Facebook, and she lives in Bloomington. Joining me now in the studio is Lil Bub and her owner, Mike Brevetsky. They just returned home from a week of touring and promotion of her new album called Science and Magic. Lil Bub and Mike, welcome to the show. Now, you have been together for about 5 years, since 2013. What made this past tour different?
Well, I'm trying to do the math. Since 2013 would be 2 years, right?
Well, but you've been on the road since 2013.
Oh, well, not consecutively, no.
Oh, okay.
But we have been making appearances since 2012, the first one being Good Morning America. We're working our way up.
So what's new this time around?
On this most recent tour?
Yeah.
Well, so this would actually be our first tour, per se.
Okay.
We do one-offs. Like I said, we'll do a TV show here, a TV show there. Most of our appearances are actually meet and greets at animal shelters and to benefit such animal shelters. And this last tour was sort of a combination of those things. Bub made a record called Science and Magic, and to promote this record and also for people to get a chance to meet her, we set up a tour at local record shops. So the idea of the tour was to support local record shops, to support local animal charities, and to support my friend Matt and I on this tour because we paid for all the travel out of pocket. So
what does that mean, she made a record?
Just like Aerosmith or Janet Jackson, she went in the studio and made a record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Can't wait to hear it. Now I did hear, though, you're not going to take any new engagements in 2016. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So I recently announced that these would be some of Bub's last appearances, and people are wondering if it's because of anything to do with Bub, and it actually is not. It has to do with me. I'm tired of traveling. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm completely pooped right now still. And I have a new son, so.
Gotcha.
As opposed to an old son.
We have about 30 seconds left. What's your most proudest accomplishment with Little
Bub?
Yeah.
It's certainly sort of the work we've done with spreading awareness about animal care and adoption and raising money for said animals. We started the first national fund for special needs pets called Little Bub's Big Fund for the ASPCA, and we've raised over $200,000 to date.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, thanks for being here. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following. IU Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, working to improve cybersecurity and provide policy guidance through partnerships with industry, government, and academia.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.